I got the idea for today's art meditation yesterday at the art museum. I found this book, Artsy Cats. On the first page, we have Piet Mondrian. So this is a play on the abstract artist Piet Mondrian. And for supplies, I've got a pencil. I've got my Posca and Sharpie paint markers. I have black, grays, and primary colors. And to get started, I'm going to pencil in flowy lines up and down and across the page. So this is inspired by the style of Piet Mondrian. And this abstract artist, who passed away in 1944, is really well known for his abstract paintings in primary colors, so red, yellow, and blue. He also used gray, white, and black. He uses straight lines, right angles, and often squares and rectangles. So his abstract paintings are very grid-like. Now, because this is an art meditation, we are not going for perfection here. And I mean perfection in replication. We are not trying to perfectly replicate the art of Piet Mondrian. Rather, we're using his style as inspiration. So I don't have perfect squares or perfect right angles on the paper, but we're close enough. So I use the flowy lines to bring in some of those meditative elements. And now, as you can see, I will color in those square-like shapes using red, yellow, and blue. I'll also color in some shapes with gray. I like to explore other artists' styles in art meditation for a few reasons. When you create work inspired by the style of other artists, it can help you break through creative block. Maybe you've run out of ideas or you've just been doing the same thing over and over and over, and you might feel blocked or you might feel bored. This inspired by approach can just help you do something different. And I find for me, when I do something new that I've never done before, whether it's actually going out and experiencing a new place, tasting a new food, or drawing in a new style, doing something inspired by an artist whose technique is a little different than my own regular, I feel more present. I am more alert to my sensory experience. So things are more vivid, smell, touch, taste, sound, sight. I am more aware of what's happening around me. And stepping away from art for a minute, maybe like if you've ever gone on vacation or visited somewhere new that you've never been, doesn't it feel more vivid? You're more aware of what's happening, or you might have stronger memories of that experience later. I think that's one reason why, as kids, time felt to go so much slower. We were experiencing so much of the world for the first time. And then as we get older, we get into our routines, our habits, and with our day to day, but even with our art practice, we can do the same thing over and over and stop actually being in the experience of that thing. That's one of the main reasons I like to, if I'm in a creative rut or if I've just been doing the same thing for a long time, I will find an artist whose style I might be inspired by and then bring that into my own art meditation. So we don't have perfect squares or perfect rectangles here. I did use flowy lines and I'm now coloring in those square-like shapes. But Piet Mondrian truly used right angles and was pretty precise with his straight lines. So just want to give you permission to be inspired by. It does not mean copying exactly, but also do you. Another purpose for doing this is to relax. And this is an art meditation. So we're slowing down. We're not looking for perfection here. But if you wanted to get a ruler and make perfect lines and right angles, please do that. So what I've done after I finished coloring in my shapes, I traced over my pencil lines with a black paint marker, and now I am playing around with the widths of the lines. So Piet Mondrian often had different weights of lines in his work, thick lines, thin lines. So I've gone in and just added some weight to some of these lines, as you can see. And then instead of doing, a true Zen doodle or creating patterns in these shapes, I'm going to just add some lines, as you see here, to stay in the realm of inspired by Piet Mondrian, but bringing again my own element. And this is accomplishing what the doodling typically does for me, in my quote regular art meditations or in the styles that you've seen me do more frequently. But it's just something different. And I think it's really satisfying and just an enjoyable experience to add some of these lines. And I'm eyeballing a sense of balance. So just do this until it feels good. Once it feels complete, you can peel off the tape. If you did tape off your piece of paper, this is watercolor paper, by the way. And I like to tape my watercolor paper down because I like that clean, crisp border. And there we go. We have our completed art meditation done in the style of Piet Mondrian. Thanks for watching.